Okay, question 9. Ruby's Market sells smoked meats by the pound. The prices for several different meats are shown in the table. There's a table. Exciting stuff. And delicious. How much more does 1 1/4 pounds of beef cost than 1 1/4 pounds of turkey? So we're dealing with beef and turkey. Okay, so first, let's just review how to think about 1 1/4. Right, 1 1/4. How are we to conceive of this? We can think of it as 1 plus 1/4, right? And if you do it that way, you think of it as how many quarters here? We have 4 quarters plus 1/4, so that's going to equal 5 quarters, right? 5 quarters. And you think about the algorithm or the formula, 4 times 1, well, I guess you just should write times. 4 times 1 gets you 4, plus 1 gets you 5, and you keep the denominator the same. You can also think of 1 1/4 as 1.00 plus a quarter, and what is a quarter to 100? Well, times 25 times 25. Oh, 25, right? And that makes sense because a quarter is 25 cents. So you can think of 1 1/4 as 1 plus 0.25, because that's 25 hundredths, or 1.25. And we're going to solve this problem both ways just for completeness, but we're going to think of 1 1/4 as 5 quarters, or 1.25. All right, so let's do it. We're told that we need to get 1 1/4 of beef and 1 1/4 of turkey, and the beef costs more than the turkey, right? Beef is $4.25, turkey is $4.85. So the 1 1/4 of beef, how much more does that cost? How much more does that cost? It's important to read these questions carefully because we don't just want to give them how much they cost together, or or another. We don't want to answer another question. We don't want to say how much would it cost to buy 1 1/4 of beef and 1 1/4 of turkey. We want how much more does 1 1/4 of beef cost than 1 1/4 of turkey. All right, so first, let's find out how much does 1 1/4 of beef cost, right? And we're going to solve this 2 ways. We know for beef up here, we know for beef, we know that $4.25 for 1 pound, right? $4.25 per pound. So how much does that equal for 1 1/4? Let's cross multiply. 4.25 times 1.25 divided by 1. Plug that into your calculator and you're going to get $5.3125. We can't round yet. We can't round yet, right? All right, or if you want to do it the other way, you would again just cross multiply. You could do 4.25 times 5 divided by 4. So that would be times 5 divided by 4. You're going to get the same number. Okay, next one. Turkey, $2.85, right? Turkey, $2.85. We're looking for 1 1/4. We're looking for 1 1/4. Let's cross multiply. 2.85 times 1.25 divided by 1. All right, plug that in your calculator. You're going to get 3.5625. 3.5625. Again, you can do it with the improper fraction. That would be 2.85 times 5 divided by 4. And just to be really clear about what I'm doing here, if I plugged in my calculator, what I'd do is 2.85 times 5, then divided by 4, right? Because you times 5, then you divide by 4. So times 5 divided by 4. Try it out if you want. What fun. 3.5625. Okay, so we have our numbers. We have for the beef, we'll just say the beef down here, we'll rewrite it. For the beef, we have 5.3125. Make sure you double check your numbers when you rewrite them from one part of your answer to another. I see a lot of mistakes when kids do that, especially after they've been doing a really difficult test for several minutes, multiple hours. They can make simple mistakes when they just write a number from one part of their test to another. So make sure you're doing it correctly. All right, beef and then turkey. We do a little subtraction. And what do we find? 1.75. $1.75 is the difference.